can never repay you for.
Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Sherry, and this is Grieve, Grow, and Glow. It's a space where we talk about grief, healing, faith, self-care, growth, and learning how to continue living after life changes you. Today's video is very emotional for me. This week marks 19 years since Matthew passed. Tomorrow, actually, May 26th. And every year around this time, I find myself reflecting deeply. Not just on losing him, right? But on everything this journey has done to me emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and personally. Grief is strange because even after 19 years, certain dates still feel heavy. The Memorial Week feels different, right? My emotions are different. The memories feel stronger. And I think what makes it emotional is not just me missing him, it's realizing how much life has happened since then. And how much I've changed, how I've grown, right? I'm not that person I was, how much I've survived. And honestly, there was a time I didn't even know if I would survive, right? When you lose someone or somebody that you love deeply, especially unexpectedly, it changes your whole entire outlook on life. It changes your heart. It changes how you trust people, right? It changes the sense of safety emotionally. And one thing that I've realized over the years is that grief never, never goes away. It just changes the shape, right? In the beginning, grief felt so loud. It felt like I was in survival mode every single day, right? Feeling emotionally exhausted from crying all the time. And I remember questioning life constantly, like, this can't be my life. I was feeling lost. And honestly, one of the hardest things about grief is trying to figure out who you are after you lost somebody. Because the person you were before the loss changes. Over the years, I had moments of loneliness, frustration, confusion, and even doubt, especially when it came to love. Oh, that was not in my cards, right? If I can be completely honest, one thing I struggled with for years was why God took Matthew. Why did he take him and didn't give me my husband? That's probably one of the most vulnerable things I can admit, right? Because I question God all the time. I question myself. What am I doing wrong? Did I do something for him to take him? Was I not ready? Was I or am I too guarded emotionally? Did grief change me in ways I didn't fully understand? Right? And after you lose somebody you love, relationships can become complicated. Okay? Not because you don't want to love, right? But because grief changes how you connect with people, right? Over the years, I had encountered people who simply were just not aligned with me emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. Oh my God, the journey. And sometimes when you've experienced real love, you recognize very quickly when something feels forced, unhealthy, inconsistent, and it was emotionally draining. And some situations really disappointed me deeply because I really felt like we had a connection and it was someone that I was open to loving, right? But some people taught me valuable lessons. Some experiences exposed the wounds that I still needed to heal. And there were moments I felt frustrated with God, right? I questioned his timing. I questioned why things were unfolding the way they were. I wasn't understanding, like, why? Why am I still alone? Why aren't you giving me the person, right? I'm a wife. But now, looking back at everything, I understand. God isolated me for a reason. And at first, isolation felt painful. It felt lonely, especially watching other people getting married, building families, spending time with their loved ones, traveling, moving into new chapters while I was still sitting alone trying to figure myself out. That was not a great space, right? It was so hard. But isolation became one of the greatest blessings of my life. Isolation forced me to sit down with Sherry. No distractions. No pretending, right? I had to sit with my emotions, right? Just me and God. And he was healing me, healing my heart. And during that season, I started learning myself on a deeper level, things that I knew that I deserved. I realized that things within myself that I still needed to heal, right? I noticed about myself in relationships. One thing I noticed about myself in relationships was that I had a habit of holding my feelings in. I would stay quiet, right? Build up all these emotions. Avoid the difficult conversations, right? And then eventually everything would explode all at once. And healing forced me to confront that, right? Healing forced me to become emotionally honest with myself and not hold things in. It forced me to communicate differently. It forced me to understand my triggers and my fears. And honestly, I think sometimes we pray for certain blessings while God is trying to prepare us. God is trying to prepare us and not punish us, but he's trying to grow us. And that's what he was doing within me, growing me. And growth is so uncomfortable, okay? It requires honesty, it requires solitude, and it requires losing things, people, situations that no longer align with you. And it didn't align with where God has taken me. And I know isolation saved me because during that season, I got closer to God. I learned to discipline, right? I learned peace. If I can be honest, I learned peace. I learned boundaries, discernment, okay? And most importantly, I learned my worth. I learned what I deserve from love. I learned what I deserve from friendships. I learned that consistency, oh, that matters. Respect, it matters. Emotionally safety, it matters, right? And I think grief matured me in ways that I didn't even realize, right? It made me realize how precious life really is. It made me stop chasing temporary validation. It made me appreciate genuine connections, right? Even though through this journey even though this journey hurt me deeply at times, I'm grateful for who it shaped me into. I'm grateful that I still believe in love. Because honestly, grief could have hardened me. It could have made me bitter. But instead, I think it made me softer in certain ways. Grief made me stronger, but softer. It made me more intentional, more reflective, and more appreciative of what I have and what God has given me. And one thing I'll always be grateful for is the fact that Matthew showed me what healthy love felt like. He taught me what it feels like to feel safe, to feel cared for and valued, right? He protected me emotionally, physically, and everybody don't get to experience that kind of love, right? So even though our time together was short, I'll always be grateful for that experience because it reminded me that good men still exist. And I think that's part of why I still have hope, right? Not because life hasn't been easy, but because I know genuine love exists. And even now during this Memorial Week, my emotions are, they're mixed. They're all over the place because I miss him. I miss him deeply. And certain memories still hit me emotionally. But I feel gratitude. I'm grateful that God carried me through the darkest seasons of my life. Because there were moments I honestly didn't know how I was going to move forward. I didn't. I was so broken. And somehow God kept me going, even when I was emotionally tired. Even when I felt the loneliest I've ever felt. Even when I questioned everything, right? And today, 19 years later, I can honestly say I'm proud of myself. I'm proud that I chose healing. I'm proud that I didn't give up on life. I'm proud that I kept growing, and I want everybody watching this to understand something, right? Sometimes we have to go through it to grow through it. Such a powerful statement. I truly believe that. Some seasons are meant to stretch you emotionally, and sometimes it's meant to humble you, but sometimes it's meant to heal you. And some seasons are preparing you for a version of yourself you haven't even met yet, okay? So if you're currently in a lonely season, a grieving season, a confusing season, please don't give up on yourself. Use this season to grow, to heal emotionally, to learn about yourself deeply. Do some traveling, right? Create the life that you want for yourself. Pray. Lean on God. Journal your feelings, your thoughts. Therapy. Definitely therapy. Take yourself out. Self-care is essential. And just learn how to enjoy your own company because singleness is not a punishment. I definitely thought it was, okay? And waiting is not failure. Isolation is not always rejection. Sometimes isolation is preparation. And honestly, looking back now, I'm grateful for the journey. It was not easy. It was the toughest thing I've ever done. But because of who I became through it, right? That's all that matters, right? Who I have become. And today, during Memorial Week, I just want to say that I miss you, Matthew. I always will. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the love, for the memories, for the lessons. And I'm grateful that God allowed our paths to cross in this lifetime. And with your birthday approaching on May 28th, happy birthday, Matthew. Thank you for being part of my story. Thank you guys so much for listening and supporting me through this journey. It has been a tough journey. So if this video has touched you in any way, please leave a comment below. I'd love to know what season of healing and growth that you're currently in. If there's anything that I can do to help, please leave a comment. Don't forget to like the video so YouTube will push this out to more people to hear the message. Comment, subscribe, and join the Grieve, Grow, Glow family. And remember, sometimes we have to go through it to go through it. We have to go through it to grow through it, right? I'll see you guys in the next video. It's your girl, Sherry. Deuces.
I can never repay you for all you are and all you've done for me.